everyone, it's Maki here. The designers of the Gundam series create their designs based on precise and rigorous logic. Even if something is fictional or purely imaginary, it often won't be considered a good design unless viewers can sense a degree of reality in it. This time, I'd like to share some comments and materials that Mr. Keiichiro Kotagiri posted on X. Mr. Kotagiri is a designer who worked on the GATX series, which appeared in the Seed series. He designed the GATX series by carefully studying the mobile suit designs from the Universal Century series. Today's topic is the frame inside a mobile suit. This topic may also be helpful for those who enjoy customizing gunpla or drawing fan art. Let me offer one word of caution. The content I'll share today is a hypothesis that Mr. Kotagiri came up with while designing the GATX series. It contains many ideas that differ from the official setting. It's best to interpret it as just one opinion or possibility. Before we get into the main topic, I have a quick announcement to make. On my channel, I'm inviting support through memberships. For just 99 cents a month, you can get a name badge and commenting perks. Alright then, let's get started. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Kotagiri's research on the original 0079 Gundam. According to the setting, the RX-78 Gundam has a semi-monocoque frame. This means that the outer shell itself serves as the frame, with motors and other functional components installed inside it. Therefore, there shouldn't be an internal frame. I wrote my materials based on that assumption. The term semi-monocoque frame is indeed part of the official setting. However, gunpla and other products often include parts such as an internal frame. Mr. Kotagiri took on the challenge of illustrating his own interpretation of what a semi-monocoque frame might look like. To study the semi-monocoque frame, he first researched the monocoque frame. Much like a crab in the real world, a monocoque frame is supported by the outer shell as its skeleton, so there's no inner skeleton. Since the outer shell serves as the frame, it is also painted. Since the outer shell is the frame, parts such as the engine are attached from the inside. Large components, of course, cannot be installed without openings. He thought that a structure with large openings, making it closer to a normal frame, would lead to a semi-monocoque frame. In real cars, the roof and pillars act as the exterior and frame. The idea of opening the bonnet, where the engine is housed, is considered to be close to the concept of a semi-monocoque frame. Rather than creating a frame from a lightweight and durable Luna titanium alloy and then covering it with armor, it is more efficient to construct the frame and armor together from that strong material itself, resulting in a structure that is both robust and lightweight. A semi-monocoque frame, where the frame itself is also the armor, allows for a mobile suit that is much lighter than one designed with a separate frame and armor. To achieve higher performance in weapons, the motors that drive the joints at high speed and the high output engines inevitably have to be large. This is why it is preferable for the frame itself to be as small as possible. The joint motors, engines, batteries, fuel tanks, cooling systems, and electrical systems are all fixed inside the frame. Once these components have been installed, armor is added to cover the open sections. This armor is designed to attach extremely tightly and firmly to maintain structural strength. Additionally, in areas where a true monocoque frame cannot be achieved due to the shape or structure of components, armor is also installed. This Sama uses a floating structure which keeps it fixed at a slight distance from the frame to prevent impacts from being transmitted directly to the frame. This completes the semi-monocoque frame of the Gundam. However, there is a weakness to having the outer shell serve as the frame itself. If the exterior becomes deformed due to combat damage, it is difficult to replace just that one part. This necessitates replacing the entire frame. As the Gundam was originally a prototype, it wasn't designed for repeated repairs and restorations in battle. The semi-monocoque frame is a structure that was adopted precisely because it was a prototype. This is Mr. Kotagiri's vision of the semi-monocoque frame. So, how was the Strike Gundam from the Seed series designed? First, let's take a look at his comment, Onyx. I took on the challenge of designing it while exploring the differences between the semi-monocoque frame of the ROX-78 Gundam and the movable frame, adopted by mobile suits starting from the Gundam Mark II. That's how the Strike Gundam's double cradle frame came about. Now that we have the technology to reproduce even the internal structures in Gunpla, I really hope that we'll someday see a product where the frame and drive systems are designed separately. Ideally, the frame should be as small as possible. This is because motors and drive system components perform better when they are larger and more powerful. The term double cradle frame does not appear in any official setting books. It is important to remember that Mr. Kotagiri coined this phrase while working on his designs. Examining Mr. Kotagiri's materials, we can see that there are red components in the frame. These are parts called pivots. By functioning like joints, these pivots enable the frame to open and close, facilitating the installation of internal components. As these pivots are structurally weaker than the surrounding framework, they are reinforced with phase shift armor. Attaching the pivots to an external, skeleton-like structure similar to a monocoque frame allows large components to be housed without stress. At the same time, the use of phase shift armor ensures the frame's overall strength. Additionally, parts such as elbows and knees use phase shift armor in certain areas to further increase durability. The concept of using phase shift armor technology within the frame itself is structurally similar to that seen in Gundams such as the Strike Freedom Gundam and others that appeared in Seed Destiny. It is worth noting that this concept of internal frames using phase shift armor in certain areas is part of Mr. Kotagiri's research stage, and it isn't clear whether it was ever adopted into the official setting. Of course, the content I share today is just Mr. Kotagiri's opinion, but I'm sure other designers have their own unique approaches to creating designs too. It's similar to how an artist imagines the skeletal structure of a subject when painting the human body in order to capture it more accurately. If you enjoy drawing mobile suits, you may find it helpful to imagine the state of the internal frame while sketching. Of course, there are times when it's better not to be too bound by the settings. In the Gundam series, for example, the creators often prioritize the aesthetic appeal of the design over strict realism, even if it means disregarding established settings. Mr. Kotagiri's research materials are highly detailed, and unfortunately I wasn't able to include everything here. Each part is given a clear role and name, and it's fascinating to see how they all fit together. I hope I'll have the chance to share more of them with you someday. Thank you so much for watching until the end. See you again in the next episode.